bit. So Fatima has coordinated 3 international environmental grants aimed at protecting snow leopard habitat in the Kyrgyz-Alai. Her responsibilities have included building conservation capacity, leading field trips to remote areas, and leveraging relationships with local rangers. And her camera trap research has aimed to train rangers to observe wildlife while developing their understanding and intuition for camera trap systems. So Fatima, if you want to take it away.
Thank you so much. Thanks so much for the introduction. Hello, Linnean Society. Happy lunchtime, and thank you so much for having me here. This is a presentation for anybody that loves wildlife, snow leopards, mountains, and community-based conservation. My name is Fatima Mannapbekova. I'm a conservation worker, and I've been doing this work for the last 4 years. And today I'll be talking about community-based conservation, safeguarding the snow leopard in a region called Kyrgyz-Alai in the territory of Kyrgyzstan. And this is Jirgal. I'll be telling a story of Jirgal, who is a ranger in Kyrgyz-Alai, who is the guardian of the snow leopards in this land. And the snow leopards in this land are the guardians of the mountains. And these very steep, rough terrains also are host to 3 large glaciers that deliver water downstream. And if you know anything about glaciers in Central Asia, they deliver water to 60 million people that live in 5 different countries. So this is a very significant area. So Jirgal's work protecting the leopard in turns protects the land. Today I'm gonna be talking about where it is. So I'll take you to Kyrgyz-Alai. Who are the people that live there? Why do we need to care? And how we can work together. So Kyrgyz-Alai is squished between the most popular mountain ranges, the Tian Shan and the Pamir Mountains in the south. And they go all the way west to Samarkand and all the way east to Kashgar. And where the star is where we conducted our work. Kyrgyzstan currently, and this is an estimate because snow leopards are very difficult to count, are a home to around 300 snow leopards out of an estimated 5,000 to 7,000 snow leopards worldwide. An expert estimate, within the Kyrgyzstan snow leopards, half of them are located in the north and half of them are located in the south. So Kyrgyz-Alai is a home to around 150 snow leopards. This area is also a biodiversity hotspot, which is really exciting. It means that it's both biologically rich and deeply threatened. So there are studies that show that there are 36 hotspots around the world, and they cover around 2.5% of the Earth's surface. And Kyrgyz-Alai happens to be one of them. So it has all of these amazing animals, including the snow leopard, lynx, brown bears, Marco Polo sheep, ibex, and recently discovered genetics of previously thought extinct species, which is the Asiatic wild dog. So there's really exciting stuff happening in Kyrgyz-Alai. However, there has been a big knowledge gap since the Soviet Union till now. So the efforts are beginning again. So who lives here? Who are the people living in Kyrgyz-Alai? They are mostly, and what do? They're mostly high mountain communities, and mostly these communities are situated 1,500 meters above sea level and above. which means they have great lungs and they can go travel through vertical spaces better than any of the urban team that came to visit them. They're mostly ethnically Kyrgyz. They're Muslim. They have a very, very rich nomadic history. And after the Soviet Union, they have turned semi-nomadic, following transhuman patterns through the winter and summer pastures. And most communities have subsistence lifestyles, which means that they can rely on the food that they grow and on the livestock that they herd for their living. Most people have livestock. There's also 5 mines in the area where people are employed, coal and gold. And Kyrgyzstan's GDP is largely reliant on remittance money. So at least one family member in each household sends money back from either Russia or other countries. And there's a little bit of tourism as well. So come visit. It's connected to this highway, which is the Alai Highway, which transports goods from Uzbekistan, Tajikistan to China and to the rest of the country as well. The main threats to biodiversity in this area is pasture degradation, mining, climate change, and disease. Because everybody has livestock, there's overgrazing in this land, and it creates competition for snow leopards' favorite prey, which is the ibex, and their population is declining. So our work, our team, and the impact, we've partnered with many different organizations in the last 4 years. My co-coordinator, Altanay Adabayeva, is in the center of the left-hand picture. Her and I have been doing this work and working with brilliant biologists and activists and tour guides, and the photos that you see in this presentation have all been taken by participants of our work. And we've done surveys, seminars, we've done trainings for the rangers, we visited schools, we've now started this documentary film. This is where we wanted to shed light to the work of this ranger that I mentioned at the beginning. And the main donors of our work have been Panthera and the Critical Ecosystem Partnership Fund, and also a little bit the Pagi Foundation. The survey work we did, we received 630 surveys from households of 49 different villages in 25 days. So we had a team of 8 people, and the results were wild. We didn't expect for people not to know that they're living in snow leopard habitat. But most of the people surveyed didn't know that snow leopards were in their backyard. So they were very surprised to find out. More than half of the participants claimed that wildlife like jackals, wolves, and snow leopards attacked their livestock. And on average, 8 animals per family per year were attacked. 40% of these cases were reported to either hunters to go retaliate to kill the wolf or the jackal, but no record of these of any of these instances were kept. And we also found in this region in Chong-Alai, which is district inside of this Kyrgyz-Alai Mountain Range, an evidence for black market for wildlife goods. And there was a lot of illegal hunting present. So then we got the expert sightings of these wild animals, and we were able to put them on a map of this region, which is the Osh Oblast. And we were able to see where people were seeing these animals in the last 2 years. So from 2021 to 2022. This is the Eurasian lynx, and all the pink dots are all the places where people saw the lynx in those last 2 years of the study. So it's pretty exciting. This is where they saw the bears in orange. The bears were often migrating from China and from Tajikistan, depending on the season. This is the favorite prey of the snow leopard, the ibex. And of course, where you see the ibex, there you also see the snow leopard. And their story goes hand in hand. So then we said, why don't we take this information that we got back to the communities? And we held seminars with them. We showed them, here's the data that we collected. What should we do about it? Let's decide together. Tell us your most pressing issues. What would you like to tackle first? And we had such active engagement. We went to 4 different districts. We had 4 different seminars, and we had a lot of women engagement. 30% of our workshops had the engagement of rural women, which was really exciting to see because it was their first time being part of such seminars. Kyrgyzstan is a developing country, and most of these kind of initiatives, either to do with wildlife or social development projects, they happen mostly in the north, closer to the capital city, due to access to the road. It's closer, it's financially less straining for projects to have it in the north. So this was the first time rural women in the south of Kyrgyzstan were engaged in such projects, and they were really excited to take back their knowledge and share it with their kids. And some of the findings were not so shocking because we did already hear about this during the survey work. So how there was very low engagement from youth to take on nature stewardship roles. And the seminars confirmed that most rural communities didn't know who rangers were, what they did, how much they earned, and where they work. Almost nothing. Even the school teachers that showed up to the seminars, it was their first time to hear about this profession. So they said, we want to see more visual material. We don't want to hear you talking. We want to see something. We want to watch something next time you come. So they asked us to produce visual material. They said, why don't you go install some camera traps and show us these animals if they live so close to our houses? And they said, we need more youth to be involved. This is really exciting. And another thing we found was still most people didn't know why the snow leopard should be protected. So we took this feedback and we decided to go to where you see the blue circle, the Bektosot Community-Based Conservancy. There are 2 different national parks in Osh Oblast. Yes, it's very important to do work inside national parks and protected areas. However, as you can see on the map, snow leopards go beyond the protected areas, and the rangers' work need to also go beyond these protected areas to ensure that their habitat is safeguarded. We chose Bektosot Community-Based Conservancy because it had the largest concentration of rangers in this area, and we brought 50 camera traps. We installed these 50 camera traps, trained the rangers, and set them up. And simultaneously, we started filming. We started filming Jirgal, his leadership role in the community, his role as a father, and his role as a husband, as a teacher, and how other men were also getting engaged in this kind of work. It was their first time setting up camera traps. These were some of the results of the camera trap. This is an ibex looking directly at us. So I think camera traps are great windows into wildlife and into the lives that they live. And it's a really special moment when we take the camera traps down and see what animals have been caught. This is 2 marmots fighting, dancing, hugging. This is a lynx. By the way, this image of the lynx was found very near the gold mining site, which means that the mining site was was operating very close to its habitat. This was the first image that excited the whole team, and we were able to capture their reactions on camera. And it was amazing because it was not only a snow leopard, but she had cubs. And they were walking in the night. And of course, the mother spotted the camera trap, and it was such an exciting moment for the team. This is the most proud photo that we have as a team, where the snow leopard is so clear, looking directly at us, almost communicating just with the gaze of telling us, this is my land and I'm the guardian of this land. This is how I read it. So our camera trap study found 5 different leopards inhabiting Kyrgyz-Alai, and we left the camera traps to the rangers, and they've been installing it. However, they're not looking for leopards. They decided to look for illegal hunters instead to do their work, because there's not that many rangers. In 1,500 hectares, there's only one ranger. And I'll talk about that a little bit later. But additional work that we did, we gave them a lot of technical gear like GPSs, tents, sleeping bags, and where they could independently go next time, and they can install these camera traps. We went to the school where our main character Jirga works, and we did this art workshop. We did a biology class. We installed this sign on the top left-hand corner that warns anybody who's hunting that there are camera traps in this territory. So now I want to tell you a little bit about the rangers. This is one of my favorite people, Tolonakat. He's the one wearing the black suit on the left-hand side. We met Tolonakia during our survey work, and on the right-hand side of the screen, you can see a little picture. He's been a ranger for 36 years, and over that time, he had collected these posters from partner organizations over time who would come to visit. He taped them together, and with his own money and his own time, he would go to schools and he would share his knowledge with the students and encourage the students to protect wildlife, to understand the laws against fining, to understand the harvesting seasons of the plants, and to learn the land through these posters. And he had been doing that just with his own pocket money, just for the sake of raising future generations. We saw his effort, and we decided to partner with Panji Foundation, where we won a grant through the Snow Leopard Network, a small grant where we asked Tolonaka to train 4 more rangers to do the work that he's doing. And another organization, NABU, donated 500 posters and 300 booklets towards our project, and we're able to distribute this information all over the region. And back to Jirgal. Jirgal is an amazing activist in the area. He is also the youngest ranger who works very actively, tries to understand the technology, the newest, the latest technology available in the field of conservation. He's always communicating with us about the different projects that he's been involved with and where he wants to take the Big Tosot community-based conservancy. And this is our film centers him as the center of how he protects this land and the snow leopards on this land. And him and his father were hunters, and his father's father was also a hunter. But in the 90s, after the extinction of Marco Polo sheep in Kyrgyz-Alai, where he lives, and after the significant decrease in the population of ibex species due to hunting and overhunting, they both decided to stop and decided to protect these wild ungulates instead. This Tozbek, this is a son of one of the prominent leaders in Kyrgyz-Alai, and he was a mountain goat in the when we went to install the camera traps. He was the youngest ranger, and he installed the camera traps. He installed more camera traps than anyone, and it was really exciting to work with him because he brought this fresh energy as youth do. So for me and for most people, I think in the field of conservation, rangers are frontline workers. So their duties include all these things that I've listed. However, in Kyrgyzstan, if you want to become a ranger, your salary is $50, 50 US dollars, 50 to 55 US dollars. Most rangers, they're embarrassed to talk about their salary. Being a ranger is very much stigmatized in society, in the communities, because of these low wages. And on top of that, they are currently investing their own money, their pocket money, to drive their cars all the way to the mountains to do their monitoring work and reporting work. They have to buy horse feed to take them up to remote locations. They use their own money to buy themselves uniform and other technical equipment and so on. Their low salaries are compensated by keeping livestock like other people. And also they can hunt wolves and submit it for compensation to the government. Or they can submit it to the coal and gold mine workers, which are usually Chinese nationals that buy these wolf products. And the most unfortunate thing is, as I said, the youngest ranger is 35 years old. It's Jirgal, the main character of the film. And Tozbek, the last photo of the man I showed, he quit because even though he's young, even though he's passionate and he wants to continue working in this field, the economical benefits do not suit his the family he wants to build for the future and the trajectory that he sees his life. And most rangers are in retirement age, like the first one, like Tolonaka I shared about, and they've kind of fallen into these roles. They've already they've began being rangers in the 90s, right before the fall of the Soviet Union. This is a slide about Jamad Bektasat, the community-based conservancy. And here I wanted to highlight that most of these members are ex-hunters. They all love hunting. Hunting is part of the nomadic culture. We cannot see that apart. In the West, we might see hunting as something with a negative connotation, but hunting has always been part of the lifestyles in Kyrgyz-Alai. However, the members of Bektasat community-based conservancy, they have decided together to protect the ibex and to return them because their populations have significantly declined, which means that if the population of ibex declined, that means the snow leopards in the area and their population has also declined. And this is our how. Our how is to make to use visual medium, which is the documentary series Oljo. And Oljo in Kyrgyz means prey, but also means trophy. And through this documentary, the primary issue that our project is seeking to address is building multi-stakeholder engagement to make visible rangers and destigmatizing their role in the community. And their leadership and ingenuity are critical for ecosystem conservation and grassroots organizations in the country. So in my words, this documentary, I would like to make it pretty enough, appealing enough for younger generations to look and say, wow, I want to be like him. I want to protect nature. This seems like something I want to do. Or even put a seed of an idea in their brains, and just for them to have an option to see this as their future. At the moment, the absence of passionate young people in conservation work deeply threatens the efforts to combat environmental degradation and species lost in the region. No matter how much money gets thrown into this region, into Kyrgyz-Alai, which right now, internationally speaking, it is gaining some traction because it's a biodiversity hotspot. If we don't get the youth engaged, if we don't get them interested, what is the point of this work? We want to say with this film, look, there's an employment opportunity in being a ranger. You can be like Jirgal. You can work with international projects. You can work with people like me and people like Altanai. You can show us where to install. You can install camera traps. You can show us the next steps we can take for our projects when we're writing these grants. And conservation projects are in need of local people who understand the land and who have a personal connection to the land. And we want to show this through this movie. And I think our film is a really good medium to spread this awareness. So again, how? We want to do a multifaceted approach through the development of a 4-part documentary series highlighting the experience of Jirgal on protecting the vulnerable snow leopard habitat in Pamir-Alai Mountain Range. And we want to raise awareness about the region's unique cultural and biodiversity significance, just like how I tried to show you today, how beautiful it is, and how there are so many endemic species, how it's biologically very rich and it's threatened and it needs protection. And we need to do this on a grassroots, we need to approach this from a grassroots perspective. By showcasing the stories of these rangers and community members, the project seeks to demonstrate that conservation work encompasses a wide range of skills and talents, including documentary filming, artistry, and handicraft work. So conservation doesn't have to be science. It doesn't have to involve knowing these very difficult theories and scientific equations. It can be exciting, it can be creative, and we're hoping that our film can achieve that. And we have already increased or tried to increase civil society engagement. This is a woman who is a biology teacher who works with Jirgal, and we've had many biology sessions together where they were able to use this very high quality photographs taken by our team and to use the camera traps and show it to the students to say, hey, look, this is where you live. This is how beautiful it is. Again, we want to highlight the economic opportunities associated with conservation-related activities, and the project seeks to support sustainable livelihoods. The expected long-term results of this project include, of course, gaining even more international attention to Pamir-Alai, to Kyrgyz-Alai mountain ranges, and fostering a deeper understanding of the importance of the habitat of these migratory species, and moving it even beyond Kyrgyzstan, because this is a border territory, and moving it to other Central Asian countries as well, or other snow leopard range countries. So 70% of the filming is complete. This is the good news. And all the photos that you have seen in this presentation, or most of them, have been from the film. As you can see, it's beautiful and it's exciting. And there is 30% filming left, 30% of the work left to go. We still need to do one more field trip to do a shooting, the last shooting trip. So we need to cover those costs, and we need to finish the post-production and distribute it back to the communities. Additionally, we've also held closed screening events using the film's draft for government partners, local organizations, and international stakeholders in Bishkek, in the capital of Kyrgyzstan. And we brought these characters from the film to Bishkek to talk to these stakeholders and to bridge these conversations. And in one night during this film screening, we raised over $250, and we gave it to these rangers, and they decided to buy radios to add to their technical gear. In addition, we received feedback for the film from experts in snow leopard conservation on the direction where the documentary should go. And additionally, we brought handicrafts made by women in Kyrgyz-Alai in this district where we did the camera traps, and they were able to gain some economic they were able to profit from this screening events and sell their goods in Bishkek. So we are hoping to distribute this film in the main district centers and bring it back to Osh, share it with the youth, share it in schools. And we want to assess the effectiveness of this work using pre and post surveys during the screening. And this will include, this will test their knowledge of whether now they know who their rangers are, what do they do, where do they work, and how to become one. And thank you so much for listening to me and for giving me this opportunity to share with you this incredible story. And your donation can support our work so much more than you think. We're looking for the 30% left to complete the filming, to fund the logistics, to hold multi-stakeholder screenings in screening event in Bishkek and in the remote communities, as I said, and to submit the film to international film festivals. By doing this, by donating, you'll be contributing to recording the visual history of this land. And for me, this means that it's not only for the time today. In 20 years, in 30 years, in 50 years, this could be used as a visual material for future generations to look back and see this is where conservation capacity was at today. And they can use this to compare it to how it is in the future. Hopefully, it's better. It will raise awareness about biodiversity conservation and protection. And lastly, it will motivate young people to get interested to continue the legacy of conservation work, which is our hope. You can use this link, and this is our film poster, Oljo. You can use this link if you like to go to the GoFundMe page. And I'll be happy to take any questions. I'm really excited to hear about what you have to say. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Fatima. That was brilliant. Some really stunning images there. I love the snow leopard cub. So cute. So we have a couple of questions in the Q&A box. So the first one is from just an anonymous. So the salary of $50, is that per month or is that per year?
It's per month.
Okay. Okay, cool. And actually, just that actually links to a question I have. Like you said, that a lot of the rangers are a lot older, and there seems to be a lack of interest among young people specifically. Do you think is that just a general lack of awareness? Like, what's causing that generational divide? Like, is it the low salary that is turning young people off it? Do they just want to move and go elsewhere?
Like anything, I think it's a combination of various things. First of all, there are not that many rangers. Like I said, for one ranger, they have to protect around 1,500 hectares of land, which is almost
Mhm.
impossible to monitor for one person. So most of these young people, they don't even see the rangers because there's not that many of them. And I think the interest towards wildlife also disappears um, because most kids, they want to go into business, they want to go into fields where they think they can make more money.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So then the second one was about more documentaries about the snow leopard. So Susan said that the film The Velvet Queen brought my attention to the snow leopard and that it's a beautiful film. Were you involved in the making of it, or like, are you aware of it? Was it inspiration?
If it's the film that I think it is, I forget the name. It has amazing, beautiful imagery, and I think it's set in Nepal. I wasn't, unfortunately, not involved. Would have loved to be.
Mhm.
But it's a beautiful film. I agree. Thanks for joining.
And then Peter says, so are you aware of, oh, did we think we've just lost her? Hi everyone, sorry about that. We seem to have lost Fatima. I'm going to give her another couple of minutes just in case it's an internet connection issue on her end. In the meantime, thanks very much for joining. I hope that was interesting. I thought it was great anyway. I've put some links in the webinar chat. So that's about, you can go to our YouTube channel. That's where we've put some of our past lectures. So a lot of lunchtime lectures as well. And if you want to sign up to our newsletter, you can. So that will give you email updates about things that we have going on. And we have our What's On page as well. So do check that out. We have a lot more coming up over the next couple of weeks and months. Oh, and Fatima is back again. Hi.
I'm so sorry. I'm in
No
Tajikistan
worries.
and the internet here is not stable.
No problem at
Yeah.
all. Cool. I was just giving the like post lecture wrap up. So at least that's done. We can go back to your questions now. Um, So Peter says, are you aware of the work and reports of biosphere expeditions in Kyrgyzstan? So he says it might be in a different region of the country. So in Tian Shan in the Kyrgyz-Alai 2 and Jumgal 2 ranges. So he said, like, just are you aware of them?
Yeah, I'm aware of them. Actually, the snow leopard people are very well connected to each other in Kyrgyzstan, and Kyrgyzstan is a leading snow leopard conservation country. After its woman president in
Mhm.
2010, she was a steward for snow leopard conservation and wanted to make it the capital of this kind of work.
Okay, cool. Then another anonymous person says that beautiful photos. What was the most surprising or memorable thing you discovered on the camera traps?
Um, well, I mean, snow leopards. The funniest thing that we've discovered was a whole life story of this rodent.
There was a little rodent, and it was the entire camera. There was maybe 5,000 images of this rodent during the day doing its thing. But for me personally, the most interesting one was definitely finding a lynx that close to the gold mining site where they use dynamite explosives.
Cool. Ray wants to know, can overgrazing really be addressed in view of increased populations needing resources?
I think overgrazing can be addressed because what's happening now is the overgrazing is happening around the villages. So people don't go that far away from the villages. And that surrounding area is usually the place with the most pasture degradation. And we can diversify the water source where the herders can take the cattle and change the water source so we can alternate those pastures. So there are solutions, but in practice, they're very hard to hold.
Okay. Another anonymous attendee asks, what is your role in making these documentary series?
Great question. I produce the documentary, so we work with famous documentary filmmaker Yevgeny Chistякov from Kyrgyzstan. Our screenwriter is Anisa Sabiri. She's also a very well-known documentary filmmaker in Central Asia. She's from Tajikistan. And me, I'm from Uzbekistan, and Altanay, who's the other producer, she's from Kyrgyzstan. And we have a sound tech and we have a post-production tech. So we're all regional, young team. Yeah.
Cool. And then I'm just going to skip down to one of the questions. So someone asked, can we receive a link to donate as the QR code didn't work? So I guess if you have a link there, if you want to throw that into the chat whenever you're ready.
Yes.
And then what else have we got? So will I go ahead with the next question, or will I give you a minute or two to find that?
You can go ahead with the next question.
Okay.
I just wanted to add one more thing, which was the documentary's teaser. If you want to watch a little glimpse into it, you can also find it in this link that I'm going to share with
brilliant. Amazing.
So I'll just put it in the chat box.
Yeah, that'd be great. Okay.
There you go.
Thank you. And then, so Helen asks, is there any evidence that the new camera traps are reducing illegal hunting?
It's too early to tell. It's too early to tell. But in general, just hearing the gossip from the villagers, yes, because they talk to each other and they say, hey, that's the area where they have the camera traps now. So they don't go.
Cool. Sana says, thank you for this fascinating talk. I was wondering if snow leopards migrate or move outside the borders of Kyrgyzstan.
Yes, of course. So snow leopard range in general in these 11 countries, they are 100 kilometers from country borders. So they're in constant movement between these countries.
Okay, cool. And then would there be any issues then with trying, I presume like protections might be different in different countries? Like if you have an animal that's protected in one place and then it moves outside of that area.
Yes, but oftentimes, usually scientific or conservation studies are done in protected areas. And sometimes one country has a protected area in the border and the other country doesn't.
Okay, cool. And then Peter asks, so I understand that there have been issues arising from snow leopard tourism in other Himalayan areas. Is this likely to occur in your region from the greater publicity that might arise from the film distribution?
I would say no, specifically for snow leopard tourism, because this area is still remote. people do come for alpinism to this area, but to see a snow leopard, it's not as common as India or, you know, Ladakh, these kind of regions, because like I said, the ibex population have decreased so much that probably it has also affected snow leopards.
Okay. And then Sana is back with another question. So I just thought of another question. Are you aware of other strategies to limit illegal hunting or poaching other than surveillance?
Great question. Great question. I think education and helping hunters understand that. So what they usually hunt for is ibex. Everybody wants the meat of the ibex or the exciting, this adrenaline rush of hunting. But if we can get people to understand the hunting seasons and follow the regulations with the hunting seasons, and just do more awareness raising of like how much impact this can have over time on actually bringing up their numbers, I think they would be more excited, about the future of hunting than anything.
Cool. Peter's just back saying, having done some surveying there, tourism would be hard work for the tourists. Looking at it, yeah.
Yeah. But there are tourists, very, very little, but the most adventurous ones.
Cool. And I think that we have time for one final question. So this is from Ray asking, are the Marco Polo sheep back yet?
Unfortunately, no. And in our survey work, we interviewed the most famous hunter during the Soviet Union who had a whole booklet of pictures, and he won an award in New York for hunting Marco Polo with the longest horns. And he had a trophy. He was an old man and he passed away last year, but his story and his pictures tell of a time that no longer exists. And hopefully we can get Marco Polo sheep migrating from the Tajikistan side over to Kyrgyzstan side and repopulating this area too.
Cool. And then we just had one final question. So from Renee, are ibex an important meat source for the locals?
I wouldn't say it's an important meat source because they're all herders and they all have livestock. They have from cows, goats, all the way to yaks. And yak meat is also pretty powerful, but ibex is kind of a delicacy. And yeah, from time to time, especially those families with hunting histories, they like having it.
Okay, cool. That was brilliant. I think we'll wrap it up there. I learned loads. I'm definitely going to be checking out that link, see that trailer. Thank you so much, Fatima, for your time and for your lecture. That was brilliant. And yeah, thanks so much to everyone who's joined. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching.
Yeah. Enjoy the rest of your day. Yeah, see you soon.
Bye.